to the Board Game Network. This is James. I'm going to be showing you how to play this game called Yeti, put out by AEG. It plays 2 to 5 players in about a half an hour. Simple little game. You are a mountain climber and you are looking for evidence of the Yeti or the abominable snowman, right? So you're looking at footprints, you're trying to get pictures of him, and the better the picture, the more points you're going to get for it. So here's the way you set up. You've got a victory point marker that you put on the 0 space. You've got a figure that represents your climber. You've got a tent you set out here. And you put these peak counters up here, and there's different values here. So you put 1 for every player. And you start with the biggest numbers. So they've got numbers 2 through 8. 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8. So if you were playing with the 3-player game, you'd put the 8, the 6, and the 4 with the 4 on top. You put the Yeti on number 50. You put this photograph chart out here. And then these tiles here that have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5, and then there's several 2s. Here's the choices for what you can do. You have dice, and so you're going to just start the game. You've got 7 dice, and at the beginning of the game, the first player is going to take 1 die and give it to the second player, and if there's more than that, then he's going to give 1 dice to the third player. And so that gives them an extra dice even though they're in second or third place to start. So you're going to roll your dice. And you have to lock all snow. All snow always becomes locked. If you have a snow, you have to lock one kind of die. One face. And you have to lock snow. So you lock the snow, and you can then turn around and lock another face if you want to, but you don't have to. If you did not have snow, then you have to lock one face of a die. So let's say I have to lock the snow, and let's say I wanted to lock the footprints also. Then I would keep rolling whatever's left. Whatever's left, if I roll more snow, I have to lock the snow, and then I can optionally lock one other one. If I do not have snow, then I have to lock whatever else I have. And so notice these are Sherpas, and since they both are the same, I would be forced to lock both of them. I couldn't pick one and then not lock the other one. So here's what the different things do. Snow. If you got 0 to 2 snow, nothing happens. So once you're done rolling your dice, then you're going to score stuff up. If you got 3 snow, you actually turn one of those snow dice to any face you want. If you got more than 3, what would happen is you would take, that's called a blizzard. So you're going to take any number more than 3, you're going to set those on your player's aid card. Then you have 3 left, and so you can turn one of those to whatever you want, and then the other 2 you don't do anything with. And the point of putting those on your player's aid card is when you pass the dice to the next player, he doesn't get those die to roll. And they do not come back into play until it's your turn again, and then you're going to pick those back up and roll them. So that's how snow works. Coins, the yellow coins, you can buy a photograph or a piece of equipment. And so a photograph is simply you pay this amount of money and you get this many victory points. So the better the photograph, the more victory points you're going to get. You'll notice this one with a 1 looks like a sketch of the Yeti. So that's not a very good picture, but you only get 1 victory point for it, so you'd move up 1. But if you rolled 4 coins, you'd get 8 victory points because you got a pretty decent picture at that point, and it shows what kind of camera you're using. A better camera, video camera way up here, 21 points. So that's pretty good points for that. If you bought some equipment, this is the cost for the equipment. This is how many times you get to use it. So this one you only get to use one time. And here's one time ones, and then these ones you can use every turn that you want to. And then this point down here gives you victory points, and this victory point down here is identical to the points down here, but you get those victory points if somebody buys this from you. So once you buy it, if you have it sitting over here in front of you, somebody else could buy it from you when they get coins, and you score the victory points. So this would just give you one time, give you your coin back, so you could store up a coin for later. This one lets you lock 1 or 2 faces when you roll dice, which is very advantageous, because you sometimes when you're rolling you say, well, I really want the tent, but I really want the footprint also. But you can't do both. You can only lock one face. This one lets you re-roll 1 or 2 snow die. And that's just when you're done with all of your rolling, then you're going to be able to pick up 1 or 2 of your snow dice and re-roll them. This one gives you a Sherpa or a tent. And that's a one-time use thing. This one gives you a footprint every single turn. This one gives you a Sherpa. This one gives you a tent. Okay. Sherpas, what does a Sherpa do? A Sherpa lets your climber go up 1 level. And when you go up levels, you get closer to the Yeti and you get better photographs, right? So a 1 Sherpa lets you go up 1 level, 3 Sherpas let you go up 2 levels, and 6 Sherpas let you go up all 3 levels. So it's very hard to get all the way up from base camp down at the bottom. If you're the first person up to the peak, then you're going to take this top counter and you're going to score those points, and you're limited to 1 counter off the peak, so there's only 1 here per player. So once you've got one, you can't get another one. Footprints on the die. If you're in the base camp, so you're a long ways from the Yeti, each footprint is worth 1 point. If however you are on level 1, then you score 2 points per footprint. On level 2, you're scoring 3 points per footprint, and up on the peak, you're scoring 4 points for every single footprint die. So you want to try to get up higher when you score your footprints. And the tents lets you put a camp down partway up the mountain. When you're doing mountain climbing, what you do is you climb up and then you come back down to a base camp, and then you climb up higher and then you come back down to another camp, and that helps you acclimatize you. So what you're doing is the 5th option here is a tent. If you have no tents, you have to return to base camp every turn. If you have a tent though, then you can stay on level 1, and then the next round when it comes back to you, you're starting on level 1, so you don't have to climb as fast or as high. If you have 2 tents, you can start on level 2. 3 tents, you can start on the peak. And that's only if you were up that high in that round and then you roll tents to keep you up that high. It doesn't let you go up. Sherpas let you go up. Tents let you stay up that high. So that, and what you do is you go, and the game ends when somebody has landed on the Yeti or gotten past the Yeti, and the Yeti moves. Every time you roll more than 3 snow, the Yeti is going to move clockwise, and it's based on the number of players. So a 5-player game, it's going to move 4 spaces. A 4-player is going to move 5 spaces. 3 players is going to move 6 spaces. 2 players, it moves 7 spaces. So while you guys are moving around, the Yeti is moving also. Anytime there's been more than 3 snow rolled for a single player. And the Yeti cannot pass any player. So he would stop 1 space behind whoever the last player was. There are also some weather tokens. That's a variant, so I'm not really going to go into that, but it's just on the last page of the rules. Gives you a little bit of how you play with the weather, and then here is the explanation. You get extra victory points if you purchase a photo. You may set aside any number of additional types of die, and so you're going to be, there's good weather and bad weather. So good weather is positive things, bad weather is negative things, and so you're going to have a stack of them there. In each round you're going to be going through the weather tokens. So that's how you play the game. You just simply are chasing the Yeti and trying to catch up to him, and whoever does that. And so you're going to keep track of who the first player is with this first player token. And you're going to, whoever passes the Yeti, you go ahead and finish the round so that every player has the same number of turns. And then whoever's in the lead of that last round, that will be the winner. So that's how you play Yeti, put out by AEG. Make sure you tune into all of our videos at the Board Game Network so you can keep track of how to play these games. And if it sounds like a fun game, you can run out and pick it up.